Good evening, guys. We're having some technical difficulties. It seems like that's always the case. Hopefully, I'm coming through loud and clear. If I'm not, then let me know. I'm glad everyone is here on a Friday night, and we're back at our regular time as always. And want to give, as always, a couple of shout outs to some people. Got a lot of people in the house. We're up to 27, 26 people. NC Relic Hunter is in here. Wisco Detect. James Bazell, glad to have you, James. James Letner is in here. David Moss. Metal Detecting with the CZ Kid is in here. Dirt Devil Detecting. Don't Tread on Me Metal Detecting is in here. Surfside Dan. Chris is in here. Digging It Back. Glad to have you in here, Digging It Back. Bobby Short is in here. Joe Dirt. Making sure I get everybody. My man, T Sharpshooter. LC Hunt is in here. Ben Bogg is in here. Ricky Bennett is in here with us. And I don't want to miss anybody. Hopefully I've gotten everybody. George Matthews is in here with us. So super excited, guys, to have y'all here tonight. And I had everything lined up. And this is the way this always goes. So I had everything lined up and ready to go. And I decided that I was going to flip off of my Wi-Fi into my hardwired connection. And then when I did that, I erased everything. So I had to go back in and install all my files and everything that I'm going to be using tonight. But I think I got it right. If I don't, there may be a couple little hiccups along the way, but hopefully it is all good. So again, glad to have everyone in here tonight. Hopefully everybody has had a fantastic week. And we've got a lot of good stuff to show tonight. So you guys are in for a treat. We're going to talk a little bit about this sweeper program that I've been using. And for those of you that follow me, you've probably already seen the finds and the things that I found this past weekend. But I'm going to show some of those things again. And I'm using that program, and I'm finding that program to work extremely well. I'm going to go through the settings and things for that program tonight, and hopefully that'll help someone. If you're out relic hunting, it looks like we got some cooler weather coming, and hopefully we all can get out in the woods and get out in the fields and start hunting and doing what we really love, and that is relic hunting. So again, I'm going to be sharing that program. That's what the bulk of the show is going to be about. But also, I'm going to share, like we always do, we're going to look at some of the finds from our followers. If you haven't already, please hit that like button. I would greatly appreciate it. If you're not a subscriber to the YouTube channel, or you're not a follower on Facebook, then please go ahead and do that at this time. It would be greatly appreciated. All donations and everything that are given tonight go straight back into the channel, and it just helps fund our adventures so we can get out there and show y'all some of the latest and greatest things that are out in the metal detecting world. So again, thank you guys so much for being here. And again, we're going to start off with looking at the finds for our followers. So without further ado, let's bring our finds page up. And I'm going to put it over here. Hopefully it's coming. There we go. All right, so I'm going to have to go back a little bit. Let's go back. And we're going to look at the first find that was submitted. And this is a find by Daniel Brown. I don't know if Daniel's in here tonight, but if he is, Daniel found this beautiful Morgan dollar here that you see. Beautiful, and it's in perfect shape. But it is extremely nice. So congratulations to Daniel. But I've got another find too coming up from Daniel's. Thank you so much, Sharpshooter. I appreciate the donation. Thank you so much. Daniel had another good find that I want to share with you guys, and I'm going to show y'all that. And let's get... And hang on one second. And this is Daniel's other find. And it was, oops, let me go back. This was Daniel's, I think y'all saw it, but this was Daniel's belt plate. So hang on. Let me pull it back up. That's David Moss. David, and I'll bring Daniel's back up in a second. That's David Moss's knapsack hook, which I'm going to make this bigger, guys, so we can all see it. Hang on one second here. Let's put, this isn't working the way I wanted it to. Hang on, guys. Technical difficulties. So we're going to scroll back. Let's go back. So there is our Morgan dollar that was done by Daniel Brown. This was also the other find, which was a CS belt plate. Yes, CS belt plate right there, found by Daniel Brown. Extremely nice find there, and really, really, really nice. So there's Daniel. Yes, Daniel's CS belt plate. Extremely nice there. So let's look at the next one. And the next one is from Detect Dig Smile. These were some finds that he found using the Sweeper program. And we've got a silver quarter, looks like. Got a couple of silver dimes, looks like a Mercury. Got a D-buckle and a couple of wheat cents there. So yeah, definitely. That CS belt plate was beautiful. I love that CS belt plate with the old block lettering around it. That was really, really nice. It sort of rounded off, but really, really, really nice. But this is from Detect Dig Smile, who also has a channel. If you guys don't know him, then you might want to check out his channel as well. But this was from Detect Dig Smile. And let's see what we got next. And the next one is from David Moss. It's a knapsack hook. And David has been sharing some things with me as far as the program, and we're going to get into that in just a few minutes. But this was a knapsack hook from David Moss. Very nice. And let's look at this next one. This next one is from Daryl. Daryl shared this with us, and he had a ring recovery. It's a gold ring, and the guy lost this ring in 1959, and he went out and found it. So super, super, super find by Daryl. And again, gold ring, been lost since 1959. And Daryl went out and found it. It's a nice ring recovery. So congratulations to Daryl. Let's look at this next one. Oh, I want to go back to this one. So this next one, you guys are seeing that. But this one is definitely one that you guys are going to want to see. It's right after Daryl's stop. Now, this one is one that is one that I've never seen before. Of course, you know the Eagle button. And the other one is an Admiral Varon button. Edward Varon, I think, is the name of it. And again, very, very old. I think it dates to the 1750s. And it is an extremely old find. I was going to look that one up for you guys. But the ring recovery was nice. This is really nice. And this one, let me make sure I got this right. I could have this wrong. But this was found. Yeah, Edward Vernon is who this is for. Admiral Edward Vernon. He was an admiral in the British Navy from 1684 to 1757. So this is really, really, really old. And then, of course, the button on the side is an eagle button. Also very, very old, from the Civil War. And it is a, I think it's an infantry button. It's got the eye and the shield. And then the next one is really nice too. I wanted you guys to see that. So here we have a flintlock rifle with the flint still in the hammer. Very, very nice find. This was found by an anonymous follower who sent this to me. He wanted me to show it to you guys because you just don't see these things every day. Of course, you can see the brass still on this this flintlock rifle. It is pre-Revolutionary War. Yes, pre-Revolutionary War. So definitely a old piece there for sure. And let's get to the next one. And the next one is my find. And if you guys haven't seen my video, this I found last Sunday out with Michael Coley, who's on here. And yeah, this thing is in superb shape. Look at the gold gilt that's on this. This is a one-piece eagle eye button that dates from the 1830s, 1840s, I believe, is the date on that. And super, super, super nice. Nicest button I've found of that age, I think, period. Just in the condition that it's in. And yeah, to dig an eagle eye is sort of rare in these parts, but I was super excited to get it. What made it really interesting was that when I dug this button, it was surrounded by a lot of modern trash. And yes, this was a beautiful, beautiful button. And I was really excited when I came up on this button for sure. And Michael celebrated with me. And again, super, super, super nice button there. So yeah, so those are our finds. I think that's it. Let's make sure. Yes, that's it. Okay, and also too, I'm going to mention it. I do have an Amazon affiliate store for you guys that shop on Amazon. You can go check out my affiliate store too. And I've got all XP stuff, metal detectors, anything that I use, I have on the Amazon affiliate store. So those are our finds of the week. And I'm sorry, guys, I am so discombobulated, it seems like, tonight. But anyway, those are our finds of the week. And I appreciate everyone sharing those finds and allowing me to be able to put those finds up. Some really, really cool stuff. That flintlock was really cool. The Edward Vernon button, Admiral Edward Vernon button from the 1700s, also very, very nice button. The Eagle Eye button, my Eagle Eye button, the Morgan Silver Dollar, the Ring Recovery, all of those things are sweet, sweet finds. And congratulations to each and every one of you. And thank you again for sharing those finds with us. So, and by the way, Sharpshooter has a special package coming to him. And when he gets it, he's really going to be excited. So I want to let you guys know about that. But Sharpshooter, you got something really special coming your way. And I think you're going to be really excited when you get that package for Sharpshooter. So again, tonight is mainly going to be about the sweeper program. And of course, you guys just saw the button that I've been using or the button that I just found. And I think you guys are going to really appreciate this program because it is one that I've been talking about. I've shown a couple of times, but we're going to go into this a little bit more. Dwayne, thank you so much. You're always so nice. I appreciate you. Hopefully you'll get something out of this tonight. You can take it back and share on your finds and or on your sites and take it out in your next adventure as well. So thank you so much, Dwayne. I really appreciate it. So again, we're going to dive into the program. And I think that a lot of you sort of know this program because you've heard me talk about it. I've sort of named it the Sweeper Program. And it has been very, very good to me so far since I've started working on it. I really started sort of talking about it shortly after the update with sensitive full tones. And you guys have heard me talk about sensitive full tones and so on. But I started talking about it then, and then we sort of modified it along the way. And this is what I've come up with, and I think it really, really works well. And we're going to go through that program. I'm going to show you my remote. I'm going to walk you through the program. And then again, this works for me. I'm going to say this works for me. It's not to say that your soil or your sites might be a little bit different. So you might have to adjust and monitor just to sort of figure out what you want. But for me, this is the best Relic program that I have. And this is what I'm going to be using to start this season. And this is what I'm going to be heading out into the woods with, and heading out into some of these old beat up sites, as well as some of these really iron infested sites. And this program has just been phenomenal. So when I found that eagle button, which I have here with me, but when I found that eagle button, let's see if this thing will focus in on this thing. I've got it right here. Let's see if y'all can see that. Can y'all see that? That's sort of hard to see. But anyway, when I found that button, it was actually in a pile of trash, and I'm talking about modern trash. And there were a lot of aluminum cans. And I believe that this button, I was able to pick it out because I was doing a couple of different things with this program. And I believe part of it was the audio filter that I was running, I think helped clear that up. And it made that sound a little bit smoother. And so that's one of the things that I'm going to be talking about is the audio filter with this program. Yes, I'll be glad to put my email up. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sitting here running my mouth. But yes, I'll put my email up in just a second. But I was using the audio filter with this program, and it worked really, really well. And of course, I've been talking about the audio filter and how I think it really cleans up sounds and makes those things sound a lot clearer. So again, we're going to go through that. Sharpshooter's calling it, and Sharpshooter's being mean, but the Legend is a great machine. So again, if you got a Legend, this can apply to the Legend too. You can run some of the same settings for your Legend. Again, curious to hear what reactivity you used on that button. I'm going to tell you all of that in just a second. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, guys. And Tin Man is in here. Brian Corral, glad to have you. And Adele's in here with us now too. So glad to have all you guys. But anyway, back to the program. So the audio filter was what I think really cleans up these targets. And even in modern trash, I think it cleans up really, really well. So without keeping on, let's look at our remote. So y'all can see the remote. I'm going to blow that up. But there it is. There's the sweeper program. I've already got it pre-set up for you guys, and you guys can hear I'm inside. But it is running off of sensitive full tones. So I'm starting with sensitive full tones as my base program. I'm going to walk you through step by step and how this program is set up. So we've got sensitive full tones. Our discrim is at 6.8. Now, you could run the discrimination a little bit lower here with the 6.8. You could drop all the way down to a 6.4 if you'd like. But 6.8 is where I usually run it. If you want to open up the machine a little bit more, you could. Now, I have heard of some people actually running the discrimination up a little bit higher. In fact, I had someone send me something the other day, and they said they were running their discrimination at 39. I just don't know what type of impact that's going to have running that discrimination up that high. But 6.8 seems to be the general rule of thumb, and 6.8 works really, really well for me. But that's where I'm running my discrimination. So if we go into our expert settings, again, I'm using full tones. I just like the way full tone sounds. I think it does an excellent job. I think you can get a lot of tonal nuance with full tones. And so full tones is where I go with on this program. So full tones, I'm running the offset at 10. Now, again, this is adjustable. If you're looking for maybe silver coins or something, you might even want to drop it down some more. If you want to run it up to 15, I've used 15, 10, and 5 has been the areas where I have run the offset. I haven't run it anywhere else on this program, on this machine, but 10 is what I've been running. I think 10 is a good middle of the road. And so I like the offset set at 10. You could try 5 if you would like as well. So again, 10 is where I'm running. 5 to me just sounds a little weird. I don't like the way it sounds running it at 5. So 10 I like a lot. So I run mine at 10. Bottle cap reject I'm not running because I don't want to apply that filter. And I'm still leaving the notch at default at 23, 24. Now, you could take the notch out or you could notch out something else. That's totally up to you. Of course, I've got another program where I use these same settings and I will notch all the way up to 80. And then I've got another one where I'll notch all the way up to 88 if I'm really focused on silver and higher conductive targets. So again, that's where I'm at with the notch. But I've tried the 7, 8, 9, 10 thing. It just seemed like I was digging way, way more nails than what I wanted. So I'm not messing with 7, 8, 9, 10. But I would run the notch up if you're going to be specifically looking for certain items. You could run it all the way up to 80. You could run it all the way up to 88. Really could. So the offset set at 10, the notch, again, whatever you choose, but I've just left it on default at 23, 24 right now. And that's where I'm going at with the notch. My silencer, I'm running at 1. I think 1 or 2 tends to be the best. Tends to be the best as far as silencer goes. I think when you get above 2, I think it takes away from the machine a little bit. So 1 to 2 is where I'm going to run the silencer. Of course, I run it a little bit lower because I think it opens up the machine a little more too. And I think it helps in unmasking. So silencer at 1 is where I'm at with that. So, and again, that takes us right back to full tones. So again, those are my settings there. And we're going to back up. And we're going to go down to sensitivity, of course, is subjective, whatever you choose to run it at on your site. Of course, I got it turned down because I'm inside. My max frequency, I'm running at 40, but I have run it at 24. Just again, depends. I think the 40 does really, really well, but you could run it at 24, but 40 kilohertz is where I have been running that. So running that max frequency at 40 tends to help. Iron volume, again, you can adjust it however you choose. Sometimes I'll even turn the iron all the way off, but usually I'll run this iron volume at 7 and below, usually even lower than 7, sometimes 5 or 6 on the iron volume. But if you left it at default, it would be 7. But again, you could lower that or turn it all the way off, however you like. It just depends on how much iron you want to hear. A lot of my sites are really loaded with iron, so sometimes I will turn this down just because I don't want ear fatigue. But the iron volume is adjustable, and you can turn it down to whatever you want. Okay, reactivity. I have tried this at 1.5, which has been what a lot of people have been saying. I found that button, though, running at a reactivity of 2.5. 1.5, I'm just not really that sold on it, but I think it does hit a little bit deeper running at reactivity 1.5. So I start off with 1.5, but I monitor and adjust, and if I have to, I will go up. Really all dependent on the site. But when I found that button, for you guys that want to know, I was running at 2.5 on my reactivity. And I think that's somebody asked that question earlier. So again, 1.5 I think tends to work really, really, really well. And let's see what else here. Audio response at 4. And then we're back to discrimination. The other thing that I do here is I also go in And this is something that I believe helps me out a lot. And that is the audio. And I'm running the audio filter at 1. And I'm also running high square for my audio type. So those were the things that I think are very, very good as far as hearing those targets. I think it cleans up those targets. It gives them a more pure sound and so on. So that's where I'm at with this program. So again, what do you guys think is and I know David Moss is on here. He has tried this program. Detective Smile has tried this program. They've both had a lot of success with it. I just showed their finds. And so these are the finds that I'm using, or these are the settings that I'm using right now for my relic hunts. So that's where I'm at. Josh is on here. He says, howdy, y'all. These sound like his beach settings. I'm just joining. Similar, Josh, I actually have run the dive program with these similar settings, and they work really, really well on my relic sites as well. So again, the dive, when you run dive and you set this up with high square and full tones on the beach, you talking about a pure sound. It's one of the purest sounds you'll ever want to hear, but it runs really well on the beach too as well. So you could try it in the dive program. And you get a really good amount of depth using dive and running these very similar settings. Dale says, I'm heading out to my car to make sure I have all these set up for the big trip tomorrow. And I am going to make a video showing these. And I might even save this video and put it up and sort of chop it up to where you guys can see it. But those are the settings that I'm using, and those settings have been really successful. And of course, a lot of you know I hunt in a lot of colonial iron, and those nails can be quite troublesome. But I think running these in here, you can really tell those nails really good. And I've had very limited amount of nails being dug running this program. No, I'm not, Chris. I'm not using threshold on my relic sites. I will run threshold on the beach every now and then. I have run some threshold, but I didn't run threshold the other day. So threshold, I think, helps in some cases, but when you're loaded down with all this iron, it's just too much, actually, running threshold. So I did not use threshold in these settings. Let's see here. David Moss says, Chris, not with that program. Tim Man says, I'll try this on the new plantation. Yeah, Tim Man, give it a shout. Give it a try, because I've been very successful with it. And I've went back to sites that I have really hit really hard and ended up pulling some things out using these settings. Josh says, I've used dive in deep silver areas, and it's very right, Josh. And I'm with you 100%. That's I like dive program with these settings. Using that high square and full tones, I think it's just a really, really sweet sound. So thank you so much. Don't Tread on Me said, just dug 8 large copper with those basic settings this week, but I'm a huge believer in using multiple reactivity settings on a site. Right. And Don't Tread on Me. That's why I said I've started at 2.5 the other day. And I have run 1.5. I tend to lean more towards 2.5 though. It's because my sites are so loaded with iron that that 1.5 is going to struggle, and you're really going to have to slow down a lot, and very, very hard for 1.5, I think, to get between some of those pieces of iron. So I still like 2.5. I know there's some people on here that run 1.5 and have had good luck with it, but I tend to lean more towards 2.5. Yes, right. You can't run threshold with full tones. He's exactly right. Dave Moss says, once you dial it in on the nails, we'll give you a broken tone when you draw back the coil. Right, David. And I saw your text, and that's one of the things that I do. I sort of either go back on it or I'll turn on it slightly to sort of see if that tone will break, and that sort of gives you an idea. And you can really hear it too. And I think with full tones, I think that helps a lot. So running it in full tones and, you know, having that high square engaged, I really believe helps out a lot. So there you go. Old Dominion says sharpshooter will do. Um, and again, running the reactivity at different settings definitely can help. But again, guys, the sites that I hunt are so loaded with iron that it's just unbelievable the amount of nails. These plantation sites are stretched for, 40, 50, 60, sometimes even 100 yards of nothing but just iron nails, those colonial square nails. And so it can be really, really difficult. Sensitive full tones to me gives the best choice and the best option for getting between those nails. I think it unmasks better, and I think when you implement high square and the audio filter, I think that helps this program out tremendously. So if you haven't been running this program, I would strongly suggest it. Just try it. It might not work for you. It works for me. It's worked for Michael, who's on here, NC Relic Hunter. And we both had a lot of success running this program. And it's going to be the one that I'm going to be using. And so y'all can pay attention to my channel and see what I dig. But I'm telling you, I love sensitive full tones. I love the high square. And I think it's doing great. And by the way, too, I was not using the 13-inch coil this week. So if I know somebody was probably thinking, what coil was he using? I was not using the 13-inch coil. I was actually running my 9 because of all the trash and stuff that was in this site. It was mainly a lot of modern trash. So I ran the 9-inch coil. I might go back to that site with a 13-inch coil just to see how it will do. But again, I was not using, and Chris has already asked it, I was using the 9-inch coil when I dug that button. So yeah, I was using the 9. I have not, Josh, and that's one thing I'm looking forward to doing is running that Goldfield program, trying it out a little more in iron. I've heard some people have had some success with it. They're running the IAR all the way up, and they're having good luck with it. So again, IAR, running it all the way up in Goldfield. I've heard a lot of people say, hey, it works for me, but I have not tried that yet. And that's something that I would love to take out there and eventually try, which I will. Like I said, I'm right in the middle. I'm right in the middle of my sports season. So I'm a jack of all trades right now. Thank you so much, Joe Dirt. I really appreciate that. I'm a jack of all trades right now because I coach, I teach. I've got an elderly father, which you guys know that I take care of. And then, of course, the rest of my life and my metal detecting. I mean, between all of it, it's a constant show trying to keep everything all together. So, but again, I am going to try to get out with Goldfield and check it out in some of the iron. Thanks for the question too, Josh. Josh said he tried it in heavy iron size, notched to 30 IR up. Yes, I pulled targets where I'd already pounded. Yeah, and again, that's what I've been hearing too from a lot of people. So that's something that I definitely want to do. I want to try the Goldfield, and I want to try to run the IR all the way up. And you said you notched all the way up to 30. Okay, that's really good. This is one thing that I've been hearing a lot lately, and I'm curious to hear what you guys think. The whole discrimination, running your discrimination up really, really high. How do you guys feel about running discrim up? Because it used to be on our Deus one, when we ran our discrim up, usually that ended up meaning that we lost depth. But it seems like with the Deus 2, we're not seeing the depth loss maybe that we might have seen with the Deus 1. So I'm curious as to what you guys are seeing running that discrim up. Can anybody attest to that? And what type of discrimination are you guys running? So that's my next question. What type of discrimination is everyone using? Dirt Devil Detective says he feels better about it more so than using notch, right? So again, discrimination, just wanting to see what you guys say. Tell me your discrimination. Okay, NC Relic Hunter's using 6.8. Of course, he and I both use 6.8. David Moss, 6.8. Is anybody running anything higher? That's what I want to know. Relics and Rings says, I notch up to 10 in really bad sites, and I don't see any depth loss. Okay, but I'm not talking about notch. I'm talking about discrimination right now. So Relics and Rings, what do you run your discrimination at? Chris says 6.8. Yeah, a lot of us are using 6.8. I'm just curious, is there anybody else out there using something higher than 6.8 on a regular basis? Because like I said, I know on the Deus I, when you started running that discrimination up, you usually ended up losing losing some depth. Dirt Devil Detecting says he runs his up to 50 at times. Okay. Don't Tread on Me says 6.8 and notch is needed. Okay. Dwayne says 6.8 discrimination notch 7 to 40. Okay, good. Relics and Rings says his discrimination at 8 when I do use disc. Okay. There you go. Thank you, Relics and Rings. Bobby Short says 6.8 and notch, no depth loss. Okay. Yeah. And usually with the notch, you're not going to see the depth loss. But with discrimination, it used to be that you saw depth loss when you started running your discrimination up. So I said, I had somebody tell me the other day they were running their, now they might have been being confused with discrimination and notch, and they might have meant notch is what I'm saying. But I've heard people running the discrimination up, and it tends to be helping out the machine. So that's why I'm asking you guys this. Josh says he pulled a 9-inch copper knob with reactivity of 3. I set the discrimination at 6.8, but notch only on Goldfield because it was giving false signals in the mid-20s. Okay. So it looks like everybody's running discrimination at 6.8. Nobody is running anything really higher than 6.8. I think I saw somebody said 8, but 6.8 tends to be the one that I think we've all sort of set in and decided on by default. But I'm just curious, because if running it up a little higher, then that's going to help. Then that would be something that we all would want to know. Dirt Devil Detective says, using notch, you block audio. I want to hear everything, but I will discriminate high to block the stuff I don't want to hear. Right. And that's why I'm wondering, if you ran the discrimination up to, and I think Sharpshooter has been working on this a little bit, but if you run the discrimination to 10 or to 20, how much depth loss would you get with the Deus II? And I can't answer that question. So that's why I'm asking you guys about discrimination. If running it up a little bit higher, is that going to change things? So again, we'll see. So the program that I have right now, which I'm calling it the Sweeper Program, because I've been able to go back into sites that are loaded with iron, and I've been able to sweep up whatever was left. And that's why I'm sort of calling it the Sweeper Program. But it was the combination of a couple of things. Of course, Michael Coley, NC Relic Hunter, started telling me some things. David Moss has actually told me some things. He's the one who sort of cued me in on high square. And then I started taking the high square and mixing it with the full tones and running it with sensitive full tones, and then sort of playing around and adjusting. And that's what I came up with. And like I said, Gary Blackwell's even made a video that's similar to these settings. So I know we're on the right track with this. And this is what I'm going to be running on my Relic sites and on my iron loaded sites, is this Sweeper Program with the sensitive full tones, running full tones, running high square, running audio filter of 1. I'm using all of those things on my Relic sites. And I think that all of us are going to be successful running this program, and you can modify it to your site because the Deus II is just a phenomenal machine. Relics and Rings says, I pulled 1258 mini balls using disc at 8. Okay. All right. 12 inches. That's awesome, dude. That is really good. So he ran his discrimination up to 8 and was still getting 12 inches, which is awesome. Dirt Devil Detecting says, still here at only Iron Tom. I still dig 10 inches plus, so I don't know that I'm losing much. Right. And that's what I've been hearing too, that we're not losing that much. So that's my question right now. What discrimination is going to be the best discrimination? But again, it could be site dependent too. So that could be a combination of things. Josh says he runs his at 10. He says 10 when water hunting with general full tones, offset 10, no notch, and paid off my machine again this summer. So Josh, I'm assuming you had a really good time. So yeah, that's awesome. Dirt Devil Detecting says Dwayne, this will too, definitely. Don't Tread on Me says never had a problem with depth on the Deus II in any program or settings. Right. But it was really, seriously, when you ran the Deus I, when you started running the discrimination up above 10, you really noticed a depth loss. But that was with the Deus I. So I'm not really sure what's going on with the Deus II. Yes, Danny says that he noticed that Gary has 6.8. Yes, and 6.8 is what a lot of us have set up. And most of the programs, the default discrimination is 6.8. So again, that's telling you something. Alabama Digger says sensitive full tones program, just stock, is amazing. If you train your ear, you won't need to change anything. Pretty much anything you change is just what your ear prefers, and that's true too, Alabama Digger. My main things that I change with this program is reactivity and sensitivity. Really, for the most part, everything else is pretty much stays the same. But those are the two that I adjust for my sights. Relics and Rings says Deus I had to run disc at points, to get maximum depth. That's right, Relics and Rings, and that's what I'm saying. When you started messing with discrimination, you were tending to lose some depth, and I'm just not sure about the Deus II. Alabama Diggers, Don't Tread on Me says Alabama Digger, the truth, right? Definitely. Sharpshooter says that he will try to show some tests. Does disc setting affect unmasking? I think so. Remember what Deep High Conductor has for default disc setting. Right. So I just don't know. If you run that discrimination up, Sharpshooter saying it might affect unmasking. I'm not real sure. But Sharpshooter, hopefully he'll be able to do some tests, and maybe he can show some of that too. But I think that running it up, I think that it could affect unmasking. It could affect some depth. I'm just not totally sure because I haven't played around with it enough. Josh says over 2,000 just one weekend this year. Laugh out loud. Dance News Detectors. What P-Cord? P-Cord is the lanyards. And by the way, guys, Josh makes an awesome lanyard for your Deus II, your MI6 pinpointer. So Josh would be glad to share his information. Josh, if you want to leave it in the chat, you could. If you're interested in getting a nice lanyard, it's high quality, works extremely well. And we're glad Josh is in here tonight sharing his finds and talking Deus II talk with us. Yes, Danny Sullivan says minus 6.8. Right. Yeah, you used to have to run the Deus II, or the original Deus. That discrimination could be run into the negative numbers, and that would definitely help with depth, and it definitely helped in unmasking. But boy, it was tough. It was tough when you got down into those negative numbers. But again, discrimination doesn't impact depth. I don't know. How high up can you run it before it impacts depth? I don't know that either. That's a good question, and that's something that I'd like to find out. So maybe Sharpshooter can do a test. Maybe I can do a test if I get a chance. But I think it's doing something. And again, like Sharpshooter said, it could be hurting and the unmasking capabilities of the machine as well. So again, that's something we're going to have to play around with. So program wise, and I know we've had this discussion before, what programs I know I'm using sensitive full tones. That tends to be my go-to program. And then, of course, this program I just showed shows the sensitive full tones running on this sweeper program. Uh, Gary put up one with deep high conductor, and I loved deep high conductor before this update, but something just doesn't seem the same about deep high conductor since we did the 1.1 update, and I'm just not sure. I like deep high conductor. I liked it before this last update, but it seems like it's just different for some reason. General the same way. I'm a little different. And again, those are programs that I got to fool around with. And then of course we just talked about Goldfield and running the IAR setting up on Goldfield to help you find things and beat up sites. So those are some programs too that I really want to play around with once I start hunting and getting into this cooler weather where I'm out in the woods a lot more. So those are going to be some of the ones that I'm going to try to focus on and see if I can maybe get something extra out of them. Because remember, we're sort of like learning a new machine all over with all these different things that they've added in these last updates. So again, it's a learning curve. We're trying to figure out what's going to work best. Right now, I feel real good about sensitive full tones, and I think most of you do too. Sensitive full tones seems to be the program that would really, really help. Relics and Rings says he thought Mental Metal did. I have to go back and check. I usually check out his videos, but I've been so busy over the last 3 or 4 weeks that I could have possibly missed his videos. So again, I may go check that out as well. So as far as programs that I'm going to experiment with, like I said, it's going to be deep high conductor. It's going to be general. I'd love to get back to those programs, try to figure out some really good settings that I can use on some of my sites. And I'm going to try Goldfield as well. So those are going to be the ones that I'm going to be looking at over the next few weeks as we head into what I call relic season because it's cooler. So, what did you guys think of Gary's video with deep high conductor? And I like Gary's videos a lot. I just, he wasn't really and I'm mainly hunting a lot of iron. So that's, I'm a little bit concerned when I think about deep high conductor and how it's going to perform in iron. Is there anybody in here that's using deep high conductor and heavy iron? Alabama Digger says, I'm going to have to buy another Deus II if they make any new updates. Never taking this one off 1.10 using sensitive full tones. It will forever stay. Right. And I have yet to find a program right now that is beating sensitive full tones. That's why, again, I'm asking about deep high conductor. Are any of you using that on a regular basis? And do you think it's as good as sensitive full tones? Yeah, Josh says no. And, but, it's just a shame because that was the program that was my go-to program for so long. And now I'm not even looking at it. But again, sensitive full tones, and then with us being able to use full tones and clean up those sounds, it's just gone by the wayside. Don't Tread on Me says, I use it all the time when I want a little more punch. But my question is, Don't Tread on Me, are you using it in like trashy sites? Or are you just using it in like open fields? Where are you using it at? That's the question I want to know. Relics and Rings says, I don't like deep high conductor and iron. I dig way too many nails with it. So Relics and Rings, do you dig more nails with sensitive full tones? Or is it better in sensitive full tones with the nails versus deep high conductor? That would be my question. Don't Tread on Me, sometimes better than sensitive, other times not. Okay, good. Josh says that he has tested deep high conductor on heavy iron Texas sites next to sensitive full tones, and there's no comparison. So you're saying there's no comparison as far as depth-wise for sensitive full tones? Are you saying sensitive full tones is deeper than deep high conductor? Michael has sort of seen the same thing, Josh, North Carolina Relic Hunter. Relics and Rings says, I use General to base my Relic program off of. Okay. And I loved General. When I was running 0.71, I was a General guy. I was a deep high conductor guy, and I was a fast guy. And I'm still a fast guy too, by the way. I will run the fast program as well, as another program that I just have in my arsenal. But I still think sensitive full tones unmask even a little better than fast. I will still run PWM to audio occasionally, but I'm slowly falling in love with with high square. Josh says deep high conductor digs a ton of iron. Okay, there you go. All right. Let's see. David says, I like General a lot with those settings you discussed. Right. And I haven't really tried my settings with General, but I want to. So I got to get to it. I got to just get out there and just bite the bullet. Noble with PWM have not updated to 2.0. I have not updated to 2.0 yet either. Sensitive full tones get separation in depth, right? And that's what we're seeing too, Josh. We dug a range guide just this other day on this last hunt, and that thing was probably, gosh, I bet it was probably 14 inches deep. But again, it's a big target, but it hit it. It's pretty deep. But sensitive full tones has really got some punch to it. I don't know what they've done with that program, but they have made it deep, and you're exactly right. Ben Boggs says deep high conductor ears tune out the iron, right? And it's tough. It's tough, and it's what your ears are used to in a lot of cases. You know, just like I was just saying, I like deep high. I like high square. Some people like PWM. Some people just like square. You could use any of them. I just like the high square audio right now. Don't Tread on Me says deep high conductor with a heavy notch is killer and heavy iron in all reactivities. Right. Okay. So yeah, and I used to do that with deep high conductor. I used to run the notch all the way up and just look for silver coins. It was awesome. I mean, it performed really well. I just hate that I'm not using it the way I was using it before. Yeah, NC Relic Hunter was the one who dug the range guide, and he tried to walk away from it, and he calls me over and he goes, "Hey, will you swing over this?" And I swung over that, and I'm going like, "Dude, what are you doing? You're walking away from this target. This is a good target." And he dug it, and it was a beautiful find. Dwayne says another great show, but I need to get to bed, getting up early and heading to Culpeper tomorrow. All right. Thank you, Dwayne, and have fun at Culpeper. I hope you find something really, really nice. Thank you again for your donation. You're an awesome supporter of the channel. And I know I had a couple of technical glitches tonight, but we finally got back on track. Josh says, Ben, I've dug a lot of silver other people thought was iron just because it was in iron. It's all about my audio, but you have to dig those deep squeaks. Exactly. Josh is right. Those deep squeaks can be the ones too that can lead to the treasure. Yes. And Chris says, good luck, Dwayne. Yes, Dwayne. Thank you. And good luck to you. And I hope you find a whole bunch of relics tomorrow. Share those with me, Dwayne. I'd love to see some of those finds. Ben Boggs says, Sipes, I dig more silver than iron. That's awesome if you're doing that, because that's what you want. So again, deep high conductor, I think is doing still doing really well. It's just we're so infatuated with sensitive full tones, I believe, that we've sort of forgotten about deep high conductor in certain situations. And I'm sure it's got its place. And I just need to get back to it. Oh, yeah, throw up my email again. Let's do that real quick. Again, SRANSC@gmail.com. For you guys that want to share your finds, if you have some amazing finds this week, definitely shoot me an email. I'd love to put your finds up on our channel and show those finds, and we'll have those up next week to show. And would love for you guys to share because, again, channel's about you guys and about us sharing information, sharing our finds, and just, having a good time. So again, share your finds. You can do that, SRA nsc@gmail.com. And would love to get you guys finds up here on the channel. Let's see. Did I miss anybody? Dirtdale Ben, he says, Ben, I know it's iron 9 to 10, but can't walk away from cutting deep squeak. Josh, are you on 2.0 or are you still on 1.1? You might have already answered that question. Don't tread on me. Says, I don't remember who said it, but the best except, yes, the shovel of truth. That's true. That is so true. The shovel of truth. So again, deep high conductor, jury's still out as far as I'm concerned right now, but I do need to get to it and using it. General, I need to start using it more, and Goldfield, I need to start playing around with that too. But maybe I'll update. Michael's trying to get me to update for the last few days. Maybe I will go to 2.0 and see with Goldfield if it works better. Ben Boggs says he's on 1.1. Anything under 10 inches is usually very clear. Yeah. And Josh, I was asking you a minute ago, are you on 2.0 or 1.1 or 0.71? What version software are you running on your XP? Okay. You just said it. Thank you. He says, I updated 2.0 last weekend when I tested Goldfield. Okay, good. So looks like Goldfield might be doing something a little more special with the new update. But again, well, guys, I think I'm going to go because I have got to get up very, very early in the morning to travel with my team. So, yeah, I've got to be up around 5 a.m. So I'm not going to hang out too long tonight. Does anybody got any questions or anything they'd like for me to go back over before we get off? And I'll be glad to answer any questions, anything you guys want to know about the program or anything else you want to ask real quick. And then we're going to sign off of here and check out. But I appreciate each and every one of you being here tonight, and it's greatly appreciated. The donations, the support, the likes, the subscriptions. Thank you guys so much. You guys are always awesome. And I'm always glad to be here with you guys and share information. So really, really, really enjoy being here with everyone. James says, I'm a coin shooter and was using deep high conductor, but have switched to sensitive full tones, really liking it. Great, James. And that's what we've been saying. And everybody on here is saying the same thing. So thank you. Appreciate it, Ben. Thank you for being here tonight. Chris, thank y'all so much. Bells, we're getting ready to sign off, but we're glad you showed up. But you can catch the replay for us. Thank you, Josh. You had some great information to pass along tonight. Thank you so much. Share your information if you would like for people to buy the P cord. Be glad to get that going. Tony, thank you. Glad to have you here tonight. Thank you, NC Relic Hunter. Tony says was late, but enjoyed it. Right. Well, you missed me messing up at the beginning as always, but we settled in and we got going. Thank you, Dirt Devil Detecting. Glad to have you here. Hello, Bells. Don't tread on me. Thank you, Ricky Bennett. Of course, a lot of this stuff is stuff that I've shared before, but hopefully it'll clear up some things. And I am going to make a video. Thank you, Hi, Fred. Appreciate it. Thank you, Bobby. You're awesome. I appreciate you being here. And Alabama Digger, as always, I appreciate you as well. So, guys, we're going to sign off. Remember, try that sweeper program. Go back and watch the video and slow it down in slow motion if you want to get the settings. And, try it out on your next adventure, your next hunt, and see what happens. See if it works for you. If it doesn't work for you, no harm, no foul. It's just something that I've been using and something that I enjoy using. So you guys definitely check that out and see if it works. And let me know too. And if you find something really good with it, shoot me an email. I would greatly appreciate it. And would love to share those finds with the new program. So again, guys, you guys are simply amazing. Josh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you for being a big part of the show tonight. NC Relic Hunter, thank you so much, buddy. You're my right hand man. I really appreciate you. Tesh, Ridge Digger, says that I never did the update to 1.1. Yeah, 0.71 still works well, but sensitive full tones is something you need to really try, and it's not going to work as well with 0.71, unfortunately. So go ahead and update. Go to that 1.1. If you need help, let me know. Thank you, right? The best lanyard you'll ever see, and I enjoy mine too. And NC Relic Hunter has one too, Josh. Both like those as well. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys. And check us out. We'll be back again next week. Might even do a live another night too. Got some other things that I'm working on, so might even do a live then as well. So, but I'll let you guys know. I'll keep you posted. Anyway, hope you guys have a great and fantastic weekend. You get out and find some amazing things. Use that new program. Go enjoy yourself, and we'll catch you guys real soon on our next adventure. Take care, everyone. You guys are amazing.